Cancer is a frightening word and a disease that so many around the world have been impacted by. Here in Canada, 2 in 5 people are expected to receive a diagnosis in their lifetime. And over the last decade or so, the Canadian Cancer Society has reported seeing a slight decline in both men and women being diagnosed. The organization also noting that mortality rates are dropping across the country. But while some of the statistics show a promising overall trend, other data tells a very different story, one that we're highlighting on this World Cancer Day. Research shows that Black men of African and Caribbean ancestry are at a higher risk for developing prostate cancer and are disproportionately impacted by the disease. The community also faces a greater risk of falling through the cracks when it comes to early screening. Joining us today are Atiqa, Mohammad and Rensford De Haan. Both of them have such a great deal of knowledge on this topic. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having us.
Rensford, I want to start with you. A diagnosis you got in 2024, and it all started when you walked through the doors of a church.
Well, from the church, from one of my church pastor, we got the message, and I went to the clinic that was put together by the Walnut Foundation and in collaboration with Princess Margaret Hospital.
And it was a stage 2 diagnosis.
At that time I didn't know, but yes.
What made you even want to walk through the church doors for testing, or even how did you even learn?
I learned of it through a message that was broadcast to a church group. And I went there because I hadn't been tested for, I hadn't done a PSA for about 6 years.
PSA, that's the testing. I want to bring in Atiqa to talk about that. That is an example that your clinic program, in collaboration with the Walnut Foundation, that program is working. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we know there's still a stigma around prostate cancer. So many men deal with fear, masculinity, and just discomfort talking about their body and healthcare. Now that is compounded in the Black community, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that there aren't culturally safe care provided and historical mistrust of the healthcare system, and rightfully and so. And therefore, Black men tend to receive diagnoses of prostate cancer a lot later. And so with the screening initiative, why it's so important is that it's taking screening outside of the typical clinical setting and bringing it into trusted community sites.
Right to the people.
Right to the people that need it. And when that happens, men are more likely to participate, and that's how we close the screening gaps.
Talk to me about the risk factors associated particularly with this community and prostate cancer, because as you know, early detection is key.
Early detection is key to saving lives, and Black men of Caribbean and African ancestry are nearly twice as likely to be diagnosed with prostate cancer compared to non-Black men. And that goes beyond biology. It's around awareness, it's around access, it's around delayed diagnosis. And that's why it's critical to have that conversation, know your risks and have that conversation with your healthcare provider.
So you, Rensford, you happen to walk upon and learn about this program where you can go to your church and you can get tested. Prior to this, had you had any conversations or been able to access any sort of health care around prostate cancer? Did you even know to get tested?
I knew to ask for testing, but that's the thing, I have to ask for it because it's not a free test. It's not covered by OHIP for the most part. So what we have to do is, it's an out-of-pocket. So that is one barrier that we're faced with, that it's a financial constraint for many in the community. The other thing that Atiqa mentioned, it's the familiarity of the area. So if you bring it to the men, there are 50% chances that they will go to the clinic and get tested. But having to come down to a place like Princess Margaret or any other, hospital to get tested kind of pose a problem. The other aspect that we have is cultural, where culturally men from our environment don't like to be tested, don't like to have doctor's opinion on them. We have this mentality: if we don't know, then it doesn't bother us.
We were kind of joking ahead of time. I was saying that I have brothers too, and men in my life where sometimes it's like, they should go to the doctors, but for some reason they're not going to the doctors here. How do we start to change and educate people's mentality around seeking that care when you need to, but also overall addressing these gaps that we are seeing in the healthcare system?
Yeah, we do need to start normalizing these conversations. One thing that we consistently see is that men are more likely to get screened or even talk about their health care in general when someone they trust, so likely a partner or a family member, encourages them to do so. So this is where the women in your lives, your partners, other family members, and people that care about you generally can play a role as well. But we do need to start normalizing these conversations. I think that one of the ways to do that is, again, what we're seeing here is that we're taking with the screening initiatives, for example, we're bringing them into culturally safe and appropriate environments, and that's like the safest way a man can feel to have conversations about their health care.
Yeah, and it all starts with a conversation, as it did for you, Rensford. Before we go, can I ask, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. Recovery has been a journey, like in all cancer patients, but I usually say I'm built differently, so I am doing
With a
good.
sense of humor.
I'm back to my normal, usual things that I do.
Why is it important for you to share your story?
It is important because I lost friends to prostate cancer prior to my diagnosis, and when I did find out that I had cancer, it was already at stage 2, and I had no anomalies. I had nothing that told me that something is wrong.
Yeah.
And it's very scary.
Of course.
It's very scary for men to be sitting there not knowing that something is broken within them until it's too late.
Yeah.
Well, so the onus is on us to share the information first and then follow up on getting tested.
Yeah, let's help folks learn more about how they can get tested as well. If you want to learn more about the mobile screening clinics, these are free tests that you can go ahead and access. If you want to know where they're located, just go to the Walnut Foundation's website. We have that website at the bottom of our screen right there. Again, thewalnutfoundation.com. Rensford, Atiqa, thank you so much for coming in here speaking with us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.